I went to Victoria College of Art, and I learned figure drawing there. And then I guess I went to BCIT, and I was studying for teaching over there, and I hadn't drawn for a while, so I started to draw, and I realized I was drawing pretty good compared to some of the other people. I was sort of rekindled in my stuff in about 2000. And I started to draw quite a bit, and I realized I had some gaps in my knowledge, so I thought I'll learn the figure through sculpting, so I'll have a good understanding of the figure so that I can draw and paint better, really. And then I took some sculpture classes with Linda Lindsay and learned some sculpture, and then I started getting my own models, and just been going. I always have several sculptures going at one time, several models, so it's always a lot of work.
So how long you been doing the sculpture for? Almost full time, or?
I guess it's been about 5 years I've been really at it, but in the last 2 years I've been really doing a lot of sculpture. I used to buy a lot of sculptures because I thought I'll copy the sculptures and they'll be handy to have and work from. And then my wife says, you should just get models and stop buying sculptures. So I have to thank her on that.
How do you decide to have a show? This is your first solo show, right?
Yeah, I had told my wife, I think, about 3 years ago. I said, maybe 4, when I first met her, I said, I want to have a show, and I was doing sculptures in my living room, and I was working at it quite seriously. And so it's something I wanted to do. I needed to have, I figured, about at least a dozen pieces to have a show. To me, that sounded right. So I approached a couple of galleries, and one was Polychrome Gallery, which a friend of mine, his nephew, had a show there. I forget his name, but they said they need to have someone who's been to many shows, who's got a name, and they're kind of upscale, although it's a very small gallery. I didn't know. So I just could see my work in there. I thought it would look good in there. And he suggested that I come here to the Victoria Arts Council, or Vancouver Arts Council. He had his first show here. And it's a good place to go. And I sent him some pictures, and he said, yeah, sure, it sounds good.
That's the way you got the show here?
Yeah, I applied, and well, I didn't expect it to be so soon because I was going on holidays, and they said, well, we'll have it, you can have it, in this time. And I said, I can't, I'm going on holidays. So they said, okay, right when you get back. So they said, if you don't do it then, you'll have to wait till July or something. So I said, okay, what the heck. So yeah, here it is. And I like it. It's good.
I heard that you put some more paintings or some more drawings on the walls, and they didn't like it. Who didn't like it, or what happened?
Yeah, well, what happened is, one of the sculptures was, I had told them that it was two women involved with each other, sort of. And they said, no, it's fine. We've seen the pictures, what you have. We're going to put screens on the windows, and whatever you bring is fine, no problems. I said, okay. So, because it was pretty racy, I guess. So, but not pornographic. I would not say it's at all pornographic. Anyways. Then when I got here, they said, we have all these frames that if you have any two-dimensional work you'd like to put up. I said, well, you can use our frames. I said, great. So I had these Conte drawings that are sort of cartoon and exaggerated figures. Some of them are similar to pin-up arts from the 50s and some more contemporary stuff similar to Armando Hirta. And I guess I thought they looked great in here, and the people from the Arts Council actually put them up for me. And then after a couple days, I guess they got some complaints from someone, and they said I had to take those down. And also the sculpture with the two women, they put a sheet over that one. Yeah. So I replaced it with a different one. Yeah, so it looks kind of empty in here now. When they made me take down these pictures, I had upper and lower frame pictures, 2 here and 2 there, and 2 over that side, and 2 over that side. And now I've just got the one lonely picture in the middle there. So it looks kind of empty. It's not what I spent a lot of time in here setting up. I wanted to make sure that people could move around the sculptures. And honestly, I was a little worried about people knocking things over, so I wanted to make sure things were set up. I spent quite a bit of time in here, and I had the pictures up here, and I wanted to also make sure there was room, somebody didn't knock anything over, and I put specific pieces out that would be less likely to get knocked over. So I'm disappointed now that I have this blank space here. And I notice people in their comments there's quite a bit of reaction to the screens that have been put up here. It's the same thing where not only are they screening my work out, they're pulling it off the walls. I got here and it was all down. I didn't even take it down. They took it down for me. And you can see the screens over there. People are really reacting to the screens in the comments in my guest book. They really don't see why those screens are up, to be honest. And there's another screen on the other door is completely blanked out too. And I actually had to make sure people knew that the gallery was open because of the screens up. And the lights are on a timer. So when people look at the gallery, it looks, you can't see in and you can't see any lights on. And I wouldn't myself be, I wouldn't go in. I wouldn't probably check the door. But I had them put a sign up, the gallery's open. I think normally the people will look in the window and see the work and come in. So in a way, it could have hurt me financially because of all this screening, but I'm not really in it for the money, honestly, at this point. I like what I do, and I'll keep doing it. I don't know how people sell their work, especially when people can't see it. I don't know. I guess it wasn't. Some people didn't like it, but I don't know. We had the opening, and people seemed quite fine. It seemed like people liked them, and I liked them.
Why do you think is that happened, that people didn't like, or some people didn't like it? Did you hear the complaint? What was the complaint, what they thought?
They were pretty vague. They're pretty vague about it. Why do I think? Well, they're idealistic, I guess, in some ways, because they're exaggerated. That ideal, they kind of evoke sexuality or sex, and it's possible that it was too much for someone. I mean, some of the comments they say that people, they can't even look at themselves in the mirror, maybe. I don't know. They're just uptight, I guess.
When you start doing sculptures on female nudes, thought that you were going to have this type of controversy, or people, or
Well, the guy at the Polychrome Gallery, he had told me, he said, you'll get some people that won't like it, and you will get some people that will really like it. And I thought, I thought I was prepared. Wouldn't bother me, but it's funny, it did kind of bother me that someone was really upset. Yeah.
do you think this is happening because of the galleries in Family Rec Center?
Well, my immediate reaction would be to say yes, I guess so. On the other hand, well, people go to Europe to see, and they take their kids with them to see the statue of David, and all kinds of other art over there. It's not censored from children in any way. They don't see it as anything that children shouldn't see. So I don't see anything in here that's, any different, really. It's all in the same classical kind of artistic tradition. Yeah, I'm surprised that we have this attitude. It's like when they put up the statue of David originally, they put fig leaves on him in 1500. So I guess Michelangelo was probably upset about that. I see today in the news they've discovered two bronze statues that they're attributing to Michelangelo that they didn't know were his. And they don't have any bronze of his work at this point. I know there was one large statue that was melted down for cannons. But, my point was that they put the fig leaves on the David, and that's what they're doing here. I think we need to move forward from that if this kind of art is going to be accepted, because I think it's beautiful. So I don't know how you can do it if it's censored. Censored? What the heck? What would my sculpture teachers, what would my figure drawing teachers, what would all the people that, that work so hard at this would say when I work, even me working, I work so hard at it, and they say, well, we got to put screens up. It's like living in the dark ages, I think. Kind of a cliche, but I don't know how else to say it. But I should tell you that, I've been studying anatomy and the figure, and maybe people don't understand sometimes is that what the artist is trying to do is to, how can I describe it? They're trying to come up with a figure that they can invent in their mind, that they can compare, they can use as a reference. A standard canon of proportions is the term they've used since the Greek days. What is the proportions of the body that we can use as a starting point, and then use it as a reference. So I tend to work to the ideal figure, and I'm really still in my early stages, so I could go different directions, but I'm really learning, still in my learning stages, I have to admit. I can't lie to you. But I'm happy with the way things are turning out. I really am.
So you will say your wife is one of your biggest supporters?
Yeah, she really is a good supporter, In fact, I have to kind of give her credit on, you notice we have a little write-up about each of the models here. Something that stands out, you know, that this girl had this summer job. She was here just for a little while, and other ones, you know, the girl was doing on her stretch break, and she left her footprints on my walls. Then I just put that down in here, and Rachel said, "You should do that. Make them like real." And a lot of people in their comments, they seem to like that. Yeah. So she really she's behind me on this totally. Yeah.
I guess this little incident didn't discourage you from keep going with the same style of sculpture, right?
I think I will learn from it somewhat. That I think I would like to get some more movement in my sculpture, and you know, start jumping off from the ideal figure and getting a bit creating from that now. But no, it hasn't really discouraged me. It did surprise me a little bit at first, but I should have been ready for it, I guess. I don't know what I'll do with it. I recently put some of my pictures up on eBay for sale, so and we'll just see what happens. I see other people are selling stuff up there. There's a big market out there. I think they're good. I like doing them.